Ready?
Hi, welcome to the Special K Unwrapped podcast, episode 5. My name is Juelz and I'm here with Kristy, Graham, Kumabe. Good morning.
I wonder how long it's going to take me to get sick of that.
Yeah, no, hopefully never, because I plan on doing that every bloody time. Now, before we get into today's episode, happy 40th birthday. Now, you did turn 40 in August, but you weren't able to celebrate.
No.
But on the weekend, everyone got together and celebrated your 40th.
Yeah. It was really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. So, yeah, I did turn 40 in August, but I was, I think, 4 or 5 days out from competing.
Yeah.
So that just got squashed.
Yeah. There's definitely no celebrating.
Not in the mood anyway. So I put that off, but yeah, had a party, but for me it was more a time to get everyone together and say thank you.
That's exactly. I was like, it was
more
your
than
birthday,
40th. Yeah,
and you were thanking everyone else,
Yeah.
which it was beautiful. Lots of tears, lots of very heartfelt words. Were said. It was really beautiful, actually. It's just like, just the support that you have around you is incredible.
It really is. And I think, like, my parents are up visiting at the moment, and my dad did the rounds and spoke to the people that I especially mentioned. And I think he was blown away with what they had to say about the support, like where I've come from, where I'm going, and the support that I have.
Yeah.
So I think that was
Now, also too, and I only just discovered this like 10 minutes ago. She got a tattoo.
No.
You got a tattoo. But your first one. You don't have any other tattoos.
nothing.
Okay.
My eyebrows. I have my eyebrows.
Oh yeah, no, that isn't
different.
different.
That's cosmetic, right? Yeah. No, I've never had. I actually love tattoos. Like, as in, I admire them on other people. Like, I love the artistic, the creative, and then the stories behind them.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, there's a good story behind
Yeah.
the tattoo, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so one of the guys that I mentioned at the party, who has a pretty
Teddy,
Anthony, pretty special relationship. And so for the last couple of months, since I got back from London, actually, we said we would get a matching tattoo.
Yeah.
He was well aware that I had no tattoos whatsoever.
Okay, now explain to people what you got.
Okay, so we got a little dumbbell on,
Which is so
right.
fitting.
Yeah. So on our right ankle.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we went in yesterday and got that done.
Are you going to continue? Because I feel like, when people get tattoos, you continue. Like, you get a little bit of an itch.
You know what? I actually think that's why I didn't have any. Because it's and I'm that sort of person.
Yeah.
Like, once I start.
Yeah. Addictive personality.
Yeah. And I knew that. So, and hubby and I have always talked about tattoos, and he's always said, you would suit tattoos. Like, you would really suit tattoos and riding a motorbike.
Yeah. Badass bitch. Does Rue have any tattoos?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, because
So in
Rue
Japan-
the Japan hippie, would definitely suit. Japanese tattoos are unreal.
Japanese tattoos are incredible. They're so artistic. But in Japan, it's only the mafia that have the tattoos.
Yeah.
And there's some places in Japan you can't go if you have tattoos.
Yeah.
So it's not really frowned upon, but it's also not accepted mainstream like it is here.
Yeah.
So that's probably another reason why, like, I don't have anything. Something tiny like this, you wouldn't see it, and that would be fine.
It's the same in the Philippines, actually. It's like, if you only have a tattoo if you've been to prison. So if you do have a tattoo, it actually means that you've been in prison.
Not a positive one.
Yeah, I mean, so I got 10, just so Mum knew I was a badass.
Oh yeah.
But I know you're like,
So what about that? Like, I know that my mum, she's never loved tattoos.
No.
And I think I don't know whether it's a generational thing, or like, I produced this baby, so why would you go and mark it?
I produced this perfect. Well, I mean, look at it.
Perfection, and you're going and you're just going to write all over it.
Think of your boy's getting a tattoo. You have created perfection.
Yeah.
You spent 9 months creating that beautiful skin for them to go and ink it up. How do you feel about it? Yeah.
I don't know, like if they were 9.
Yeah.
Then
No. I mean, but no, like, okay, think about it when they're older. Like,
yeah,
how would you feel about it?
I guess because I've waited till I was 40 and we were just saying like our age, there's a lot of people our age that just have random tattoos.
That's me. Also, but if you got a tattoo that is some sort of tribal tat that you have no tribal heritage, you're in my era of like tattoos. Like, you know, tattooing was huge when I was became of legal age. So
I don't think it's so huge now, but there's a lot. I feel like there's more. I don't know. Maybe that's just who I surround with or whatever. There's usually a story behind it and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And I guess I already have tattoos that I love that I'd love to put on my body.
Yeah.
And it's like after comp.
Yeah.
There's a lot of competitors that do have tattoos all over their body. But I do feel like on the main part of the body, it takes away just a little bit from that last definition that I think you can get if you were clean skin.
If you were clean skin, yeah, absolutely.
So
to see the muscles.
I've always sort of said like I'll just wait till, anything major, I would wait till after competing.
Yeah, okay,
but
great.
there is one that I'd like to get on my forearm.
Yeah.
But I don't think that would affect.
Are you going to tell us what it is or no?
Yeah, I can tell what it is.
What is it?
Yeah. So it's like half a tiger's, it's 2 eyes, a set of eyes.
Yep.
And one side is tiger's eye and the other is a really pretty female's eye.
Cute,
and they fade into each other.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Well, welcome to Garage Inc. Let's get into the podcast of what we're actually going to talk about today, which if you tuned into last week, we were talking about the processes of going overseas and competing overseas and what that is like in preparation for that. So you can go back and listen to that. Today, we're going to talk about post-comp, what that feels like to be on so much of a high where it's like stage, lights, everything, winning, and then coming down and then it all just going to so much silence.
Yeah. I think there's there's so much to that, whether you win or you don't also plays a role.
Well, you're still preparing your body up until that, regardless win or lose.
Yeah. And I think that's it. It's such a big preparation process. So I did a powerlifting comp on the weekend. Right?
Yeah.
And on Saturday, I lifted. I decided on Friday afternoon that I was going to compete. So on Friday evening, I cut in the sauna a little bit of weight off to get into the weight category.
Yeah.
And then I competed on Saturday and I don't know how many times I said to people like, this is so easy.
You literally had the prepreration of 12 hours.
Like I'm comparing it to what I went to prepare for stage. And, they train hard and they lift heavy and they go through programming and whatever, and sometimes they do a big weight cut at the end.
Yeah.
And all of that, so mine in the scheme of things, I just jumped in for fun. So it was easy, but I just think, on the day they can eat whatever they want, just fill up with lolly snakes and whatever.
Yeah.
But it really made me stop and think and reflect about how hard the journey is to get to stage at a high level in that condition.
Yeah.
And before that, you're building for so long too. So between my last stage and then London, there was 2 years.
Yeah.
And in that 2 years, I said, I was in prep the whole time. For me,
yeah.
that's how I think about it.
Yeah.
And, so building, put on 20 odd, nearly 30 kilos, and then having to get it all off. So that build up is huge.
Yeah.
And then depending on the judging and whatever and how easy it is for them to judge or not easy for them to judge, you could be on stage anywhere from a minute to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I remember when the Italy comp, and this is another thing we talked about, the Italy comp, that's quite a pivotal comp for me in so many learning ways. And in Italy, so I, prep for these world championships, fly over the other side, do everything that we talked about last episode to get me over there in good condition and whatever. I was literally on stage for a minute for the posing judged round and a minute for my routine, and that was it.
And that's it. Done and dusted.
Done and dusted.
Yeah.
You know, so lucky for me, it was a clear win. So they'd literally come out, the competitors come out, and they went boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
Done.
okay.
Yep, done. Decided, off. Routine on. Presentation done. And I'm like, okay, I have just spent a year prepping for this.
Yeah.
And 20 grand getting here. And so much training and hard work, investment, cutting, starving, grumpy, tired, whatever.
Yeah.
For 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So then the other side of that, you get off stage, you know, there's so much preparation, that so little time, that anticlimax on the other side, whether you win, lose or whatever, I think is huge.
Yes.
You know, it's an emotion, and you're still very lean.
Yep.
You're
starving still.
There's so much you've got to get back into training, you've got to get moving, you've got to fly home if you're overseas, whatever.
Yeah.
And then celebrating, not celebrating, dealing with the emotions, the hormones, you know, everything that got messed up in your prep.
Yeah, overthinking everything as well too. If you didn't win or, oh my gosh.
So there's so much to it, but I think the lead up is what makes it even great. So it's like weddings, all of that sort of thing. You know, there's so much preparation goes into it. Yeah. And then the day goes by, and then afterwards you're like, oh, okay.
Shit, it's done. It's all over.
It's done.
Yeah.
And then you have this little empty, lost feeling of, okay, so
what now?
Now what do I do? Because the preparation was so intense and you dedicated and prioritized so much time, effort, energy to that, that's now a hole, right? In your days, in your weeks, in your energy cycles, in everything. Yeah. So I think that's where that lost feeling comes from, because all of a sudden, well, yes, the goal has gone. Yeah, you feel like crap, which we'll go more into that definitely. Yeah. But it's that time and energy that you invested and you put right at the top of the priority list. That's now gone in an instant. So you're like, okay, now what do I do? Yeah.
Is it important to, I mean, so for example, when we were just in London, you know, your goal already before that comp was like, I'm going to try and get to Olympia next year, so that when you finished, you literally had another goal to look forward to.
Yeah. I think that is so important. And we talk about that in the gym and with other competitors all the time. Losing that goal, and sometimes it takes some time, like especially after your result, or if you're an up and coming athlete, like you're still finding your way, like there's different federations, and you know, we've all got different body types, so where do you fit, where are you going, where do you want to be, so it depends on your result and what you want to do as to where you go, and that may take a little bit of time after comp, but the quicker you can decide that, the better. It can be, you're already emotional, you're already hormonal, like big time. So put that in conjunction with feeling lost and empty. It can be a bit of a recipe for a downward spiral if you don't grab it early enough.
And I feel like, you know, this is kind of, you know, in any platform that you're in, whether it be, you know, bodybuilding, whether it be, you know, sporting or whatever, it's the same thing. I do remember years ago, one of my mates, professional AFL player, would run out in front of 100,000 people most weekends, and he was talking about, you know, and then his career ending because of injury and it just coming to an absolute nothing, and just how imperative it is to look after your mental health, to make sure that you've got, you know, that support around you, you know, and the biggest thing I believe is the biggest helper in those situations, because I've been there many a times, is having that next goal. Yeah.
So I think as you continue to compete, and you can continue to set
those goals,
and the bar a little bit higher each time. It fuels that fire and that drive and that passion. Ending the career, that's a whole nother story. Like, I think that's one we could touch on I have thought about that.
Yeah, okay.
And I think it's something that you have to think about really early in the piece, especially as a high level athlete, because that's your identity. And so many people say it shouldn't be your identity, but it becomes your identity.
Yeah.
You know, I walk down the street and they're like, oh, that's that professional bodybuilder.
Yeah.
They're not, and we've talked about this with work and that as well. Hey, like if you end up at a high level in your work industry, your sporting industry, whatever it may be that you're succeeding in, you're known for that.
Yeah,
and
except
your
I hate it. You love
your
it.
Face, your name, your face is associated with that. Like I'm probably seen more as the professional bodybuilder than the mum with 3 kids at the moment.
Yeah.
I'd love it to be the other way around, but that's not how it is. You know?
No, but like, would you love it to be the other way around? Like,
Well, if it was the other way around, I wouldn't be where I am now. So
well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like, I think
so
this
at
is
this
what
point in time, this is exactly where it's supposed to be and how it's supposed to be. But I think it's really important that you do think about and what's on the other side.
Yeah.
For so many reasons. One, keeping your health in check so that you do have longevity and a quality of life on the other side. Because it is really taxing on the body.
Yes.
Crazy taxing on the body. And what are you going to do on the other side?
Yeah.
You know, this is, as I said, it's taxing on the body. It's not something that I personally want to do until I'm 60, 70.
Yeah.
Like I've always said, it's a fairly short-term goal.
Yeah.
Go as hard as I possibly can and as far as I possibly can in a short time.
Yeah. And while you still have that drive for it as well too, because it, like you said, like the prep that is involved, it takes a lot, like a lot. You know, so while you still got it, fuck it, why not?
Yeah, and I think while you've still got that fire inside, that passion, and you're excited and you love it, it's like, you know, if you love it, you're not working a day.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
And I think we talked about there's not really been any days, even if I'm going through a hard time or whatever, that I don't want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Like, I just love it.
Yeah.
So at this stage, while that fire is hot, definitely.
I mean, if
run at it
this
big
podcast
time.
is still going in about 20 years and we're still sitting here, she's still competing, I'm going to be like, I'm going back to episode 5. And I was like, girl, you still got it. You still got it.
I think, you know, like bodybuilding is, you know, you're judged on your body, and as females, we change.
Yes,
so, you know, we're judged on skin texture and all of that sort of thing, and that changes as you get older as well.
Yeah.
So, hello.
Well, even the elasticity and
What's
things.
up, big
Hello.
girl?
I finished cleaning my desk.
Thank you. Otherwise, you ready for school?
Besides my lunch, yeah.
Okay. Is Daddy making you lunch? Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
You can come in. I'm just waiting for it. I'm waiting for him just to come in, barge in.
Thanks,
Maybe
baby.
they're scared of me. Are they scared of me?
No.
I be recording.
Hey?
I don't be recording.
You don't want to
Oh, you don't want it. That's
Not
okay.
yet.
Your mum and I love it. Oh, God.
Yeah, but what I was saying, like, you know, females and men, but I think in particular females, like our skin texture changes as our hormones change,
Yes.
we go through menopause,
Yes.
you know, the body shapes can slightly change.
Yeah.
And I do personally believe that most females, like whether I'm going to be in that situation or not, I don't know, but openly and honestly, I think as the body changes, you become less competitive.
Yeah.
So-
yeah. God, us women have it so much tougher than the men,
So
right?
hard. How dare they?
Far out.
But I think that's something that, you know, you just have to accept.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
the sport I've chosen, and I'm female, and especially putting on so much weight and then taking it all
Yeah.
off and then putting it back on and then taking it off.
Yeah.
You know, the skin elasticity and everything, it's not going to hold.
Yeah.
And I'm totally accepting of that. So
Yeah.
I've said that, you know, it won't be a long-term thing for me.
Yeah.
And I want to make the absolute, go gung-ho,
Yeah.
make the absolute most of it, and then set up goals for
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
But
And Olympia is where it's at, baby.
yeah,
100%.
I'd love to go there a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
To hold that reign, like to hold that, you know, for when she wins it next year.
But yeah, post-comp.
Yeah.
Post-comp is a whirlwind of emotions. First off, post-comp, you need to reverse. So as a bodybuilder, you need to reverse out of comp. So
See, this is the thing. As a person who doesn't really know about this world, I was like, oh,
Finished, done.
Straight to KFC, done, let it go. But it's actually not. You have to really meticulously reverse out of that situation.
Reverse out, yeah. And you know what? The reverse for most competitors is harder than any part of their prep. The reason being is because they no longer have that goal.
Yes.
They no longer have that tie into what
It's
they're
like
doing.
It's like a drive and a will to
drive.
not eat that
even
donut.
though they may have already sat down with their coach and gone through what they want to do next, it's quite a fair way away. And when you go through prep and you push your body to that extent to get to that condition, your hunger hormones and that sort of thing get out of whack.
Yeah.
And when you come off comp, you are like, there's no other word but ravenous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ravenous. And even though you've controlled your hunger and that up until comp, as soon as you get off that stage, I think it takes about 2 days. And then literally you are just a bottomless pit.
Yeah.
And your hunger hormones are all out of whack. So you don't really have a satiation point.
Yeah.
So this is where a lot fall into a trap.
Right.
You just can't stop eating.
Yeah, okay.
So you have to have that mental strength to go, okay, and you should have a reverse plan from your coach before you step off stage.
Yeah.
Because of this,
Preparation is
preparation, and it's an emotional whirlwind, like your hormones are all out of whack, you're revising your results, you're critical of your physique, and that's going to play on how you're feeling because it's your body, not just a picture you've drawn that's being judged. So there's so many factors that send you on this emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
And even as a seasoned competitor, you're going to go through that.
Yeah.
And so I knew that London, I just need to chill, and I was going to be in a bit up and down, and I knew that I'd set the next goal. Took control of my food straight away.
Yeah.
So, but I have that experience behind me, and I'm stubborn as fuck.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm not going to mess this up.
Yeah.
But
Geez, there really is no off, is there? Like, there's
So that's
just
why
no
when
off.
people say, "Oh, like when does your next prep start?" I'm like, I'm always in
Yeah.
prep.
Now I get that. Yeah.
Like, there's no time for an off. You do your reverse, and then you're building. So essentially then you're going to the opposite end of that scale. So you need to mentally get around the fact that you've been so lean, you've purposely cut everything so that you're in condition for stage.
Yeah.
And I got down to about 3.5% body fat. And then you have to slowly put that body fat back on to bring yourself back to the position that is optimized for building and putting on the muscle.
Yeah.
Take the feedback from show, and then you are purposely eating to put on weight.
Yeah.
Which is a head fuck for a lot as well.
Yeah.
Like to go from that lean, which you normalize in your head, to slowly putting body fat on. And even though, guys and girls, it's not even just the girls that struggle with this. A lot of guys struggle with this as well. They look in the mirror and, from an outsider, you're like, wow, that guy is ripped. And they're like, oh, like I'm putting on.
I can feel,
I feel like I feel fat and fluffy is the word.
Yeah.
And whatever. And you're like,
I love that.
Word.
I love that word of describing. I use it a lot because I'm like, I feel fluffy. I get that feeling of feeling fluffy.
that watery and whatever.
Yeah.
And
you're hydrated. You're getting
and
your
on
nutrients.
Stage, the body, you purposely get the water out of the body, so that the skin's sitting right on the muscle, so you can see the striation through the definition. So a lot of competitors don't realize that as soon as you eat a little bit something a little bit different and to get that hydration back in and get the salts and everything back in and start to normalize that, one, you're going to put on 2-3 kilos of water like that
in a day.
Yeah. And so they freak, they've like, look at the scale because you're so fixated on the scale coming down.
Yeah.
And then in 2 days you've had, one free meal, maybe, even if you're like meticulous like me. I think I was about 3 kilos up in 2-3 days.
Yeah.
And it's mainly just, you're still ripped. But that head, that mentality, you're looking in the mirror and you start to see that definition go away, and it just throws so many off.
You're like, I don't even want to do this anymore.
Like,
I'm not even.
Everything and whatever. And a lot of people know that post-comp, when you are really lean, the body is just hanging for nutrients. It's hanging. So it's actually the best time to grow.
Yeah.
So that is, even though it's probably the hardest time to stick to everything, it is the 1%er or even way more than that. But, you know, I'm always banging on about 1%ers.
Yeah.
You know, that's a time that I'm like, right, I'm going to make the most of this time.
Yeah.
But it probably takes anywhere between 6 and 8 weeks for most people to start to level out. And that's a long time post-comp to hold that mental game when you are just ravenous and hormonal and feeling lost and
Okay, apart from all that, you know, the eating side of it, the revert, how do you deal, and I know we were just talking about the goal setting and whatnot, but when it does come to the mind, when it does come to that mental battle of, you know, okay, that is done. Is there also, though, even though that's done, is there like it's almost like a sadness that it's done as well too? Like it's all over?
Yeah,
that bit
I definitely
is all
had
over?
that this time. Because once you get to that higher level, you know, you're not doing a lot of comps. You may only do 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And it depends on, it literally is hanging on your result of what you do next.
Yes, yeah.
So, you know, me going to London, the goal was to get that pro card in the morning and then getting the pro show at nighttime. If I'd have won that pro show, I would have gone to Olympia.
Yeah.
So there was so many options of whatever, which, I mean, even coming fourth was just
Incredible.
mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But there's so many options. And then I knew that if I got the pro card and I got into the night show, into the pro show, and I placed or wherever I can, but I didn't win, that was the end of the season for me. And I decided that I wasn't going to chase another, like travel and chase another pro win as such. So I was going to get the feedback and then go from there.
Yeah.
So I knew that if I didn't win, that was the end. And even though I was so over the moon, so happy with the result, there was that feeling of like I've only competed twice this season.
Yeah.
Like I competed once in Melbourne to qualify and then once in London, then that was it.
And that's it. And all this work for 2 shows.
For 2 shows, and I busted my ass for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, so there's definitely that feeling of, oh, like it's all over. Like I don't want it to be over yet. Like I want to, and that plays, and I say to others as well, this is why you have to set in your mind so solid of what you want to do and what is best for you, because once those emotions and that start playing in, and depending on results and whatever, and then figures in your life that support you and advise and give you opinions and whatever, you know, everyone wants to say, oh, well, you could do this or you could do that or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're not solid in what you want to do, you will sway, especially if you're in a vulnerable state.
Yeah,
right? So even in London, I had people go, oh my gosh, you're in such great condition. Like you come 4th against Olympians. Like you could quickly fly to America, do a pro show and win and go to Olympia.
Yeah.
They're like almost guaranteed. Even one of the judges was like, you've got a freaking good chance. Duck over to America, do the next pro show, and like you've got a freaking good chance of winning. And that's tempting, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're like, you could do
like
it.
stuff all over, let's go there now. Yeah.
But that wasn't the goal. That wasn't what I wanted to do. So I slept on it for a night, because the night before I was like, well,
should I?
Should I? 100%. I was like, ooh, should I? Like maybe
How tempting for you though?
Super tempting, because you know, I had quite a number of big names and figures that knew what they were talking about, saying, yeah, we could do this, you know, coach included. But I slept on it and just went, no, Kristy, this was, even though you're sad, this was the goal.
Yeah.
And another thing that plays on my mind is that I always get on stage doing, and we touched on this in one of the other podcasts, every single thing that I possibly can. And so this helped me make the decision not to go further.
Yeah, yeah.
So I always say I do exactly everything that I possibly can. I search for all the 1%ers. So when I get on stage, even though I'm nervous, I don't have any doubt inside of me that I've fucked anything up or I've done something wrong or I've missed something or anything like that. Yeah. I'm really confident inside that I've just done all that I possibly can. So I am the best that I possibly can be on that day. But when you get off stage, I got feedback straight away. So the feedback was that I need to bring up my quads, my shoulders, and lats to get more taper. So straight away, I have something to work on.
Yeah.
Right? I have an unticked box. So for me to go, okay, I'm going to put that unticked box aside.
Yeah.
And I'm going to travel to America and go for another pro show to go to Olympia.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
It was unticked.
You knew that you would have got up on stage with a little
there
bit
was
of a doubt.
something that I needed to fix.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the opportunity to fix it. It wasn't that I was too lazy to do it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I already got that feedback. And that means that if I had that much improvement, even though it's not huge in some schemes, but that much improvement to do, I'm not at the top of the top yet.
Yeah, but see,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
but it does come down to those. It does come down to the most minute things. You got. This is the world stage here. You got the best of the best there. It does come down to the slightest. One side's bigger than the other. It does come down to those little things.
It comes down to
absolutely.
the little things. Yeah, and I think knowing that you're on stage at the best you can possibly be and there's no unticked boxes, there's nothing further you could have done. And I've never competed for the win.
Yeah.
I want to win.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like I'm going to win.
Yeah.
I'm not going there to be a number. That's my point.
Yeah.
If I was to go over there knowing that there was unticked boxes, I was going over to be a number.
Yeah.
Even if I was going to win and get to Olympia, I knew that I wouldn't go to Olympia and win.
Yeah.
Because there was unticked
Yeah.
boxes.
Does
that make
absolutely.
sense?
Yeah.
So that to me, I was like,
You're almost setting yourself up for failure. Like, even though it would have been a great experience.
It would be absolutely incredible. And even to get on the Olympia stage, if I was to go to America, win, and then get to the Olympia stage, like it would be phenomenal. And I have no doubt I would have been over the moon, extremely emotional, happy, whatever. But in that moment of deciding what you want to do, I was like, no, Kristy, you can't because you won't be your best.
Yeah.
Whereas if I come back, reverse out, go through all the process, get myself back and build and tick those boxes, then go. Yeah. Then I know I'm at my best then. And then whatever the result may be, will be. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm happy with that, win, lose or whatever.
Yeah. But if you were to go, this year after London, you would have been like, ew, I could just see it now. If I was watching you, I'd be able to see it in your mind ticking over. Like it wouldn't be at ease. No. And I think I'm a very honest person, honest and open person. And I'm not very good at hiding how I feel. You feel.
Yeah, on my face. And I think even on stage it shows. Yeah. And that's why I say to girls, like, if you have a particular color of a bikini that you just can't take your eyes off, make sure you get that color. Yeah. If you have makeup that you really love, get that makeup. Yeah. Because it shows. It really shows on stage all of those finer details. So, and that's what comes back to. I'm determined every single time I get on stage, I have that inner confidence that I have done everything in my realm possible. Yeah. Training, food, bikini. Yeah. Whatever it may be.
All the colours, the earrings that match.
Everything.
You have matching.
I don't have my matching earrings.
Do you have black ones? You could have just went with silver.
I don't have
black ones. A lot of your bikinis wouldn't be. You wouldn't have any black bikinis anyway, would you? Like stage bikinis?
Actually, I do have one.
Do you?
Black and gold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
One of my clients yesterday was saying, how many bikinis do you have? And I was like, whoa, I have no idea. We'll have to pull them all out and line them all up. And
we are. Now, can we just quickly, because we've had this discussion where we've just been training together, but just how much these bikinis cost will blow your mind. But also, too, when you look at the detail of it and what it actually does, like as in holding everything in, it's a lot.
Because there's not much to it.
There really isn't.
You can probably see, but there's not much to it. I call it dental floss.
Yeah. The average stage bikini is
so bikinis
how much?
Can cost anywhere between $400 and $4,000. Like,
what are they using? Real freaking diamonds?
It depends on the federation, the type of bikini you're wearing, and that sort of thing. So if we go back to like where I'm at, my bikinis have ranged between $400 and about $2,000.
Yeah,
a bikini per piece.
Wowza.
So now I am lucky enough that I'm sponsored by Glam Fit Bikinis.
Okay.
And
Thanks, Glam Fit Bikinis.
Honestly, you can actually tell apart a Glam Fit bikini on stage.
Yeah.
And this what comes back to making sure you don't, like, if you're going to a high level, don't short out. Like, make sure you can afford it. The cost of competing is ridiculous. So that's something that you have to consider before you compete as well.
Yeah. Can you afford the bikini?
Can you afford it? Because, post comp, you're all out of money, and that's going to play a role on your mental health as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
See, this is not me. You don't see the guys in sparkly. I haven't seen a guy in a Diamante little G-string.
They wear the G-stringy sort of pants.
Yeah, but it's not.
They're like.
Yeah, but it's not glam. It's not like diamond, like, and the difference between what you guys, the women pay for their Diamante, sparkly bikinis to the guys in their bikinis. I don't reckon they're paying $2,000 for their little piece.
So I have this thing, and I think this comes from my dancing background. I love to wear a different bikini for every single time I step on stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not
That would be me if I was you too. I'd be the same.
Even at, $1,000 a pop.
Yeah.
So every season, and even sometimes I've actually done this quite often if I'm doing like a morning and a night show, or if there's a possibility that I'll turn pro and go into a different show, or even from the judged round to the routine, I'll get changed into a different bikini.
Okay.
And I've done that a couple of times. Yeah. So I'll have to pull out the bikinis, and I actually don't even know how many I have. So I've actually kept every single bikini.
You know what? I think it's brilliant that you've changed like every time. You haven't worn them over and over again, because every bikini has a story, right? Yeah.
And usually I haven't been such a sentimental person, but I think as you start to achieve things in life, you become a little bit more sentimental with things like that, like the tattoo, like the story, like
the IFBB, the cardboard up there.
And, when I first started competing and, I was going through all these bikinis, I actually don't mind lending out my bikinis either.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me, which I know some people are funny about that. But I've kept all my bikinis, and people have said, you should sell them or whatever. I'm like, no, I've kept them. Now I'm so glad I've kept them, because I will bring them out.
Yeah.
Okay? And I will show you the evolution of the bikinis. Like, because I designed most of my bikinis.
Yeah. But also like the size.
Represents the size as well. But almost represents the evolution of how the body's changed. It's really fascinating.
Yeah.
So I went from so tiny little simple to when I competed in Italy and Vegas that same year, I went a little bit more extravagant and that sort of thing. And now I've gone back to a little bit more simple but different designs. But when you lay them all out, I think it would be really interesting to see the evolution of bikini to the evolution of the body. Yeah. It's almost there's a correlation there. There definitely is.
We need to do that. Because you wouldn't fit into the ones that you started in now. Absolutely not.
No, they wouldn't even go past my knee. And that's true, because I did actually try one on.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
No go?
So a while ago, I lent some of my bikinis I've actually lent out nearly all of my bikinis, which is really lovely, because people it's special to wear something that's, been a world champion bikini overseas or whatever. And I think a lot of people wouldn't. But I'm like, if that means something to you and gives you that extra sass on stage, I'd love to see it up there again, because I'm never going to wear it again.
Yeah.
So to see it up there and, being worn and a smile on someone's face and give that extra glisten, that's special to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Can't remember what I was going to say.
It's okay. We can cut this bit out of the podcast.
No cutting.
No, I did say no cutting.
No cutting.
We will leave it in. But I had something, as you were talking, I was thinking about something as well. Okay. And this is where we'll end the podcast. Okay, so, and for those that are watching and listening that, don't do their own bodybuilding and aren't into it too much, I know we're all thinking, how does everything stay in when you guys are doing these poses, especially if you're doing poses that are almost splits or anything like that, or
That's actually really funny.
Does anything go through your mind of like, oh, please, Lord, baby jeebus, please, like, stay in
All
because
flaps in.
how? Just tell me how
Okay,
do you guys do
so,
that?
I think like when we were talking about routines and that sort of thing, and I said to my coach for the very first routine, I was like this is boring. Can I do something exciting with this, or do I just have to do the normal pose, turn a little bit, pose, whatever to music? And he's like, well, yeah, you can do whatever you want. So even in my very first routine, and I will put it up today. I promise you, I'll put up that first routine.
Please
the very,
do.
very first one.
Yes.
I put the splits in it because I used to dance, right?
Yes,
so
yeah.
I was like, oh, I wonder if I can still do the splits. But yeah, I can.
Yeah.
So
But can I do it in a itsy bitsy dental floss?
right. So then I was like, oh. Is this all gonna stay in?
Yeah.
So I asked a couple of them, and then they're like, I don't know, like you're just gonna have to
Try it
I
out.
guess put it on and
Yeah.
try it out. So I did.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I am not going on stage doing the splits and then having to turn around and tuck
Oh
my
my
bits
god.
back in.
No. I did that.
Just a second.
Oh my God,
I've
any
just got a
public-
little bit of a
This is-
malfunction
Any
happening.
publicity is good
But
publicity,
Things
girlfriend.
do happen
Yes.
on stage. Like we've had not our team. You have to give credit to the Muscle Hut team.
Yeah.
There's such a community, and backstage, we make sure everyone is glued in, taped in.
Yeah.
Like bikinis are secure, whatever, because malfunctions do happen.
Yeah.
And you usually glue like through the back so it doesn't slip right up your ass cheek. So
Sorry, glue.
glue.
What
so
kind of glue?
called Bikini Bite.
Right.
It's a bikini glue.
Yeah.
And it glues material to skin.
Right.
So for a lot of girls, I'm actually, another credit to Glam Fit, my bikinis always fit like a glove.
Yes.
And even though they're a piece of dental floss, you put them on and they're actually really comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that.
Well, it's
because
made for you.
Covered in gems and whatever.
Yeah.
It's thick. It's,
Yeah.
and quite stiff as
Yeah.
well. They make I don't know how they do
Yeah.
it. They make
Yeah.
a freaking good bikini.
Yeah.
And every time I put it on, I think, how do they do that? Like, I'm so nervous to put it on.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually quite a covered up sort of person.
Yeah.
We need to talk about that in another episode.
Yeah.
But the dealing with the bikini
Yeah.
is a big one. But yeah, they make such a good, and when you put it on, it just fits like a glove.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
some don't.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
then in those cases.
Well, if you're
we-
getting the $100 ones, they're not going to fit
that's
like a
no,
glove.
but that's exactly
Yeah.
right. It's exactly right. And so they don't glisten as much. They just don't have the right cut. They don't quite fit. In that circumstance, we glue. We
Yeah.
glue the bikini to where we want it. But there
Yeah,
has
right.
definitely been malfunctions where, like, the front will split open and then there's boobs come out on stage.
Really?
And
Oh.
yeah, and girls have come backstage, and as I said, not in our team because we make sure they are perfect.
Yeah.
But where you're using bobby pins to put bikinis back together.
Yeah.
And stuff. So
Is it? It's not a
stuff does
disqualification or anything if
no,
you
it could
get a
go off
malfunction.
quickly, get
Okay.
fixed up and then go back
Yeah.
on.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it could be detrimental if you lose timing in
Yeah,
your posing round
and
or whatever.
also too, it would throw you off. Like it
Yeah.
would throw you off your game. If
Yeah.
you're like in that mindset of posing, and then all of a sudden your tits pop out,
like
it'd
your
throw you.
confidence,
it
would really
to go
I
off, get
couldn't-
it fixed,
yeah.
and then come back on and
Yeah,
try and
so-
start again. It would.
But essentially, if you've got a really good bikini and it fits you properly, yes, you can do the splits and nothing will come out. So
Yeah.
I never use glue or anything.
Really,
No.
girl, that's confidence.
Yeah. So no, I've never used glue or anything like
Yeah.
that. So
yeah.
credit to the bikini makers.
100. Okay, spend good money on bikini, and get some bikini bite.
Bikini bite, yeah. And then make sure you clean the bikini when you get home.
From the glue.
Tan and glue.
Tan and glue.
Yeah.
Actually, there is one. Oh no, it's not up. I've seen one with I think it was white.
White.
And I was thinking to myself, how did you keep that so white with a tan on?
It's pretty ruined now
Yeah,
because it
okay.
was white. I'd love to wear white again.
Yeah.
Maybe I should wear white.
I reckon. Oh, look,
What colour
white
should I
would
wear
just-
next time?
My bet's on white because I just think white pops
Just looks
so much.
crisp with the dark.
Dark
yeah.
skin, dark hair. Yeah, I just think that would pop. Yeah. Beautiful. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing with us, that part of your life, because I feel like a lot of people don't really want to talk about that down, like not that come down from it, you know?
That definitely can be, it can be tough.
Yes,
really,
absolutely.
really tough. And I do try and give a lot of time to other competitors who are going through that. I think because when you've been through it, you know the feels. And I've done a lot of work on myself to prepare myself for that and give myself tools to get through it as well.
Yes.
So I really try and impart that on people. So
Yeah.
if anyone out there is struggling post-comp, flick me a message. It is hard. I get it.
You were just too beautiful.
I have so much time for it because
Yeah.
I think it can be quite pivotal
Yes.
in where you go from there.
Yeah.
If you don't have that support or even advice or even just bouncing off someone you know has been through it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this woman, seriously, you're just beautiful. You really are. Gosh, how can you be this talented, this beautiful, this giving? I was even thinking like at your birthday the other night, and you were reading out these thank you cards to the people in your life that have really been there, supported you. It was just like you were just as you were reading it all out, in my mind I was like, this is exactly what these people would be saying back to you. Like what you're
really?
recognizing in other people is actually you. And, and even though there were 5 to 6 different people and you were pointing out these different qualities and they're all different, that is also all you. And so I'm going to say on behalf of like all of those people that you thanked at your birthday is that they would see all those qualities and admiration in you. So I just had I was so teary. Oh my gosh. I'm emotional now, right? I'm emotional at the moment.
I think it's hard to really in words. So for the listeners, I took the opportunity to be able to say thank you to some people that have been really crucial in my journey, especially the last 2 to 4 years. Because the last 2 to 4 years, I've literally dedicated everything to my bodybuilding. And that was, and I spoke about it at my party, that was credit to my husband. He just said, go all in. So I jumped all in. Like, I want to share that.
I got so teary when you were talking about your husband, Rue. It was just like, I was going to yell out, but I was just so in it. Like, I get these intrusive thoughts where I go, do you have a brother? Does he have a brother? Rue is perfection. Oh my gosh.
He's an angel. But where was I going with that?
Oh, sorry, I interrupted.
So I took the opportunity to say thank you and to just express how I really feel about. And that's really hard to do. So the weeks leading into my party, I sat down numerous times and I wrote out thank you cards to those people that I really wanted to make a note of.
Of course.
And put in the spotlight, I guess. And I think it's easier to write what you feel sometimes over a bit of time. But I had a couple of the people who I read the cards out to said that was pretty gutsy to actually read it out. Like it's one thing to write it and give a card for them to read in their own time. But I really wanted everyone to see how much they mean to me. So I read it out in front of 50 people.
I'm so stealing that idea for my 40th birthday.
I think it was really special.
It was beautiful.
It hit the spot with me too, because I think I was able to express what I wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you did that perfectly on the night, so well done. Okay, bye.
Okay.
We're going to wrap this up. I know I've said it probably twice now. We're going to wrap this up. Well, if you've probably realised that we try to do like an hour one and then we try to do a shorter one, because we are dropping twice a week. But, also we get carried away with our chats. Bye. Love you guys. Mwah.
Ready?